Hi friends, welcome to the Business Studies class. Today, in this fourth module, we are going to start a new lesson, that is emerging modes of business. Modern business is characterized by ever increasing supply capabilities, global competition, and customer expectations. In response, business throughout the world are changing their organizations and their operations. They are flattening the old hierarchical structures between the company divisions. They are also lowering the barriers between the company and its customers and suppliers. Business processes are being redesigned so that they cross these old boundaries. Electronic business, that is e-business, is a means of enabling and supporting such changes on a global scale. In simple terms, e-business means doing business over the internet. This drastically changes the manner of doing business. For centuries, business has been based on physical presence of buyers and sellers and physical delivery of goods and services. In e-business, physical presence is not required. E-business refers to any form of business transaction in which the buyers and sellers interact electronically using telecommunication networks. Under the Information Technology Act 2000, e-business is defined as the transactions carried out means of electronic data, interchange, and other means of electronic communication in place of paper based methods of communication. In other words, e-business refers to all form of business transactions which take place through electronic processing and transmission of data. E-business involves strengthening relationship with customers and suppliers, checking out the competition, developing new product ideas and sources, dealing with government at all levels, redesigning business process and management systems, e-tailing or selling goods and services online. E-business is the result of convergence of information technology and communication technology. It is a comprehensive electronic system of trading which uses networks of computers for buying and selling goods and services. E-business means consumer and business transactions conducted over a network using computers and telecommunications. E-business means commercial transactions in which an order is placed electronically and goods or services are delivered in tangible or electronic form. The terms e-business and e-commerce are often used interchangeably, but e-business is a wider term than e-commerce. E-business includes not only e-commerce but also other electronically conducted business transactions such as product development, production, inventory management, accounting, finance, and human resource management. E-commerce simply covers a firm's interactions with its customers and suppliers over the internet. Now we are going to study the differences between traditional business and e-business. Regarding the formation, in the case of traditional business, the formation is very difficult, but the formation of e-business is very simple. The setting up cost in the case of traditional business is very high. It requires huge amount of fixed assets. But in the case of e-business, low cost is setup cost is required. Fixed assets are not required in the e-business. Operating cost is very high due to fixed charges in the case of traditional business, but in the case of e-business, the operating cost is very low. Traditional business location is needed. the nearest to source of raw materials or markets. But in the case of e-business, location needs is not required. In the case of traditional business, physical appearance is very essential. But in the case of e-business, physical appearance is not required. There is a indirect through intermediaries, but in the case of e-business, direct contact with the customers. The scope for doing global in the case of traditional business is very limited, but in the case of e-business, it is very wide. The nature of internal communication is hierarchical in the case of traditional business, but in the case of e-business, it is not hierarchical. In traditional business, the response time is very long, but in the case of e-business, the response time is instant. There is a high personal touch with the customers in the case of traditional business, but in the case of e-business, there is a low personal touch with the customers. These are the important differences between traditional business and e-business. Thank you.